Hi, in this video, we are going to see how do you create suppliers in Oracle Fusion Cloud. So I'm going to go into procurement, and then based on your responsibilities, you will see several options. And I'm going to go here and click on suppliers. So it will take us to the suppliers menu, and from there we will be creating our suppliers. So that's the overview page. So this will show you what a spend authorized supplier requests are, what are the business classifications, which supplier are with incomplete setup. If you have like supplier portal, then or any other supplier administration, you will see supplier profile change requests which are pending for approval. So this is a dashboard page. So I'm going to go into the menu and go in the task called create supplier. So we give a supplier name. So our supplier name is going to supply us computer. So we are going to say Excel computer supplies. Computer supplies. Okay. So the business relationship, this is important one. So it's either prospective or spend authorized. So if it's a spend authorized supplier, you can create like purchase orders or requisitions for the supplier. If it's prospective, you can only do like negotiations and qualifications for the supplier. So in this case, I am going to select spend authorized. Tax is going to be a corporation, this organization. And then if you say tax country, then if these two fields will enable for now, we don't want to specify that. So I'm going to say your DUNS number, which is called DNB number 12567. And then I'm going to say create. So it's going to open up a new form for us wherein we can enter more details on that supplier. So just waiting for it to go there. You know what, I'm just going to remove the DUNS number for now. So in the background, while it's creating, it also checks whether there are any suppliers with similar naming in the system, and it's going to try to do match for that as well. Hopefully not in this case. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, there you go. So it opened another page where when you can fill in more information. So if you see there are distinct tabs above, one is called profile. In the profile, you have the information about the supplier. So we have automatic supplier numbering on. So it picked up the next supplier number for the supplier. Supplier name is this. Business relationship, as we said, is spend authorized. But what that means is basically you can create purchasing transaction on that supplier. You can have an alternate name. You can say supplier type. So if this is going to send us like a supplies, we can just say supplier as supplier. If it's services, we can, if it's a supplier for services, we can have a supplier type as services and so on. So, but in this case, we're just going to say is supplier, and you can say inactive date, so you can make it inactive at a certain date. And then on the tab below, you can see you can have more information about the supplier. You can have an alias, you can have a corporate profile, you can enter the financial profile, You can have the information about the suppliers, managing principals like CEOs and all those people. And then if it's a customer, you can have as a customer number as well. And then the business classification, it tells you what business classification you can have, like business classification on the supplier. If this supplier is going to give like certain products, you can have your certain categories from your items assigned to this supplier. So this supplier can only supply those products or services from your products and services catalog. Taxation thing. So if I have this, if you want to do some tax transactions in supplier, you can specify in this tab income tax. So typically what people do is rounding level. We want to give it a header, and then routing is the nearest. So these are two typical things which you see in the setup, and then you can enter your other details for taxes when they're going to go there. And then on the payments tab, you can select what kind of payments this supplier accepts. So let's say if this supplier wants to get paid by check, we can select on check and make it as a default for this supplier. So as soon as do that, the green tech checkbox checks out, which means by this we can pay this supplier using a check, and then you need to have from date for that. The next important tab on the is the addresses. So we need to create an address for the supplier. So address is nothing but the location of the supplier. So I go and create a new address for this supplier. So I just click the plus menu, or you can do from the actions menu as well, create. So this is the name. So let's say I want to say like main, and then address line one is important. So we're going to say like 123 Mango Lane, and then as soon as I put a postal code, it should bring up 92614. Let's see. It's going to bring us city, state, and zip. Okay, so I'm going to select this city of Irvine and county of Orange, and then my address is going to be for ordering and remit to. What does it mean? So this address can be used to send purchase orders, as well as these orders can be used to send payments. And if you want to have this address for quotations and bidding, you can enable that as well. So we're not going to do that. So we'll click save and close. So it will create an address for this supplier. Okay. So next important thing is sites. So what does that mean? So there's a concept of business unit. So let's say your organization has multiple business unit. So you can have or assign this address to a particular business unit so that that business unit can do transactions with this supplier. So let's say you have a US business unit and by UK business unit. So you need to create a site in the US business unit in order for your company to create POs for this supplier using that business unit. So you can create sites in two ways. You can click here and click plus, or if you go on the address menu itself and you open the address, you can create a site here as well. So I'm going to say plus here and create a site. So it will tell you this address which business unit can create transactions. So I'm going to say US1 business unit, and I'm going to say purchasing is fine, pay, and I'm also going to make it as primary pay. What this means is if there are multiple payment sites, this site will be picked up as a primary pay site for the payments. Okay, and then I'm going to say save and close. Okay, so the site was created, so I'll go into the site. So if you see, this is a message saying that you don't have any active contacts. So we'll create a contact later. So let's open this site. We have to do one more setup called site assignments. So what does that mean? So if you have like one procurement BU and client BUs, you need to create like site assignments, or basically a site assignment is required in order for you to create procurement documents. So everything else is fine. So you can uh, do multiple things here. You can say if you want to do like self-billing, you can select on the invoicing options. So freight, if this supplier you have certain freight terms, or if you want to pay on receipt, you can select that box. And then if it's a consigned inventory, you can say pay on use, FOB. You can select destination or origin. On the receiving tab, invoice summary level is required. So let's go. Oh, sorry. If you want to select self-billing and then uh, receipt. So there are you can set up tolerances here. Uh, if you want to like set up receiving tolerances or any other receipt rate tolerances, you would set those here. On this invoice page, you can say what should be invoice currency. I'm going to say US dollars. I want to pay this supplier in US dollars as well. You can say invoice amount limit. You can do that. You can say you can say for this particular site what would the invoice match options would be, and then you can select that. You can say you can also set up tolerances for your invoicing. So if your purchase order amount differs from your invoicing amount, you can set up tolerances in order to allow the invoices to be approved on the amount, as well as you can also set up tolerances on the quantity. So payment terms, you want to pay the supplier, say let's say net 30, you can set that up. Again, on the payment on this site, remember we set a payment type on supplier master, but if you want to set up for a particular site, there is a function to do that as well. So you can set it up like that. So anytime you select this supplier site, it will enable check payments. So I'm going to create a site assignment. So you want to assign this site to a client BU. So what this means is basically there's a concept called a procurement BU, and a procurement BU can serve multiple client BUs. So in order for you to create requisitions, you need to have a procurement BU assigned to a client BU. So in this case, our procurement BU was US1 business unit. So I'm going to say US1 business unit. Okay. And then you can set up other things here like primary ship to location, primary bill to location, and then your liability and any other accounts you want to set, you can set those as well. So in the client BU, what uh, you can see, I can add one more client BU. So what this means, if I can set up UK business unit. So what this means is now this site, the procurement site is called main. This procurement site can create purchase orders for the US1 business unit as well as the UK business unit. So for the UK business unit, they need not have their own procurement department. They can order everything through this US business unit. So that's the concept of the client. If you create AutoCAD assignments, so what it will do is if the US1 business unit is a procurement provider for, let's say, UK business unit, India business unit, let's say in any other country, like in Germany business unit. If it's a service provider, it's automatically going to create assignments for those particular requisition business unit, which are serviced by the US one business unit. So, and then you create the site purpose and then qualifications. So if you are doing any qualifications for the supplier or in assessments, those will show up here, but we are not going to go into that as of now. I'm going to say save and close. Okay. So that's created. So another important thing we'll do is we create a contact. So we can have a contact for this address. So, and then that contact, if you get a contact, and if you have enabled supplier portal, so that can contact can log in into a supplier portal as a user and do transactions on behalf of the supplier which we are creating. So I'm going to create a contact called John Doe. Okay. So, and then you can create like an email. Let's just give an email, john@doe.com. Okay. And set as active. You can create contact address. So contact needs to have one of the address. So we will pick the address, the name called main, and assign it to that contact. So this contact, supplier contact works out of this location. And if I create a user account, what it means is it's going to create a supplier user for this. So this assumes that you have the supplier portal functionality enabled. Okay, we'll go to that in a little bit. So as soon as you say create user account, by default, all the roles which are assigned to your supplier user in your setups get automatically assigned to this, and then you can pick and choose to remove what is not to be granted. Let's say you don't want this guy to do like a customer service, then you can come here and delete that role. But we're not going to do it now, and then you can grant data access as well. So it can be restricted to a supplier or restricted to supplier site. So this user can be restricted to a particular site. For now, we are seeing that he can do everything at a supplier level. So these are the important things. So again, if you create a contact and create a user account, you are having that supplier user log in into your system, and he can do some transactions like send invoices, send ASNs, and all those things which a supplier portal functionality does. So those are the minimum things you would do while creating a supplier. I would say save and close. And then changes are complete, and then you can then submit it, which will create a supplier in the system. Okay, so changes were saved. So now supplier has been created. You can go and look at it, go to manage suppliers, and then our keyword was Excel something, Excel computer supplies. So I'll give these two words. It should bring it up. There you go. So that's Excel computer supplies, and if you open it, you will see all the information which we entered when we create a supplier. If you want to make some changes, you will click on the edit button and then save and close, and again you have to submit it. So that's how you create and manage suppliers in Oracle Fusion Cloud. Thank you.